Harvard magazine, and if you've ever seen the actual footage of the kill shot for the Arizona, it was horrific. This ship went down in 10 minutes and took 1,177 of the crew, and their names are on that wall at the triangle. And many people who come out here don't realize when they look at that wall, 950 of those sailors and Marines have never been accounted for and are still believed to be someplace in this harbor or the hull of the ship. That is how absolutely ferocious the explosion was. It disintegrated everything.
Here at the Pearl Harbor Museum, headed out to the USS Arizona Memorial.
There are many rumors that we only have one survivor left, by the way, if you didn't know, of the original crew. And there are many people who believe that once that last survivor passes away, she'll stop weeping. She'll have her full crew back. That sole survivor is 101 years old, so we may not have very long to prove or disprove that theory. That is basically the story. You see a little rainbow sheen on the top of the water. That's a small little blob of oil that's come to the surface, spread, and then the sun hits it. But it is not an environmental issue. by the Missouri. There were mooring keys that showed the Maryland inboard, Oklahoma outboard, behind that the California. So if you've ever seen an overhead view of Battleship Row on that fateful morning, it was pairs of ships, predominantly battleships, tied to these mooring keys or tied to each other, all facing in the direction of the harbor entrance, which is about a mile in that direction. And it was the outboard ships on Battleship Row that took the brunt of the torpedoes. Torpedo bombers came in from the south, around the south shore of Oahu, swung into Pearl Harbor, and they hit Battleship Row perpendicular. So you can see how these outboard ships took the brunt. These torpedo bombers carried a single torpedo. Once they dropped it, their mission was complete and they went back to their carrier. The Japanese didn't want to depend on collateral damage from the outboard torpedo ships to create sufficient damage to the inboard ships on Battleship Row, which the Arizona was. As I mentioned, it was shielded by the vessel. So as soon as the torpedo bombers cleared Pearl Harbor, the Japanese brought in their high-level bombers. We're talking 10,000, 11,000 feet in altitude. They carried 1,800-pound armor-piercing bombs. Armor-piercing meaning it was designed not to detonate on impact, but to literally penetrate the 3- and 4-inch armored deck plate on these battleships before it exploded. These high-level bombers came in waves of 5 aircraft each, and every 500 feet there was another wave of 5. And they came right down Battleship Row, literally right on our heads. As much talk as there is about torpedoes in Pearl Harbor, the Arizona was never hit by a torpedo. It was hit and sunk by one of these 1,800-pound armor-piercing bombs. Where it hit was crucial. This ship had 4 big gun turrets, 2 forward and 2 aft. Gun turret 3 is the one behind me above the waterline. Halfway between us and that buoy out there, which is the bow of this ship, you see what looks like debris on the surface of the water. What that is actually the remnants from gun turret number 2. The only reason we can see it is because the tide is accommodating us right now, but it's a good reference point because that is where that bomb hit. And it did exactly what it was supposed to do. It penetrated, went down 5 decks, and then exploded. And the unfortunate part for this ship and its crew is in the bow of the ship there was a huge magazine. That term is familiar to law enforcement, military, and others. And I'm not talking about a place where you store rifle and pistol magazines. For lack of a better term, a big warehouse full of ammunition and powder, predominantly for gun turret number 1, estimate maybe 1 million pounds. So that bomb penetrated, detonated, and then ignited that forward magazine. And if you've ever seen the actual footage of the kill shot for the Arizona, it was horrific. This ship went down in 10 minutes and took 1,177 of the crew. And their names are on that wall in the triangle. Many people who come out here don't realize when they look at that wall, 950 of those sailors and Marines have never been accounted for and are still believed to be someplace in this harbor or the hull of the ship. That is how absolutely ferocious the explosion was. It disintegrated everything. And then there are 45 survivors who have come back to be buried with their shipmates. That is the 1,000 round figures that you hear when you come out here. That's over whom you are now standing, 1,000 sailors and Marines. So we ask that you respect that again with the volume of your voices and keep your conversations in the short time that you're out here focused in on this, not necessarily a lunch plan or something you have going on this afternoon. You return boats probably in or approaching, so if you haven't taken your photos and videos on this side, you got about a minute or two, then we're going to be moving everybody to this side for boarding.